Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rechak Madash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere kin. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rechak Madash. And this is really I don't really know what I'm going to title this video. It's between Jake is waking up and the chokehold of Christianity, because what this video represents is really, two things being true at the same time. But you have our people, right? The Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, but most especially the Israelites here in Africa, the Israelites in West Africa to be precise, waking up, right, to really, just them gaining a little bit more knowledge. You can't really see they're waking up to who they are, but also the fact that our people are still, for the most part, right, especially here in Nigeria, are still enslaved to Esau Edom. Okay, and this is a interview from Channels News going into the first slave ship, right? Because this is actually was not really that controversial. You know how it is. The truth gets brought out, and then the devil, the liar Esau Edom, tries to call himself debunking it, right? He's trying to, you know, claim that what is the truth is not the truth. So this is the title of the video. Nigerian British author discusses his recent book, A Slave Ship Called Jesus, right? The journal's book. And normally I wouldn't use the full name, but in this case, it's a special occasion because, like the apostles and the elders have always said, one of the first slave ships that carried our people, that's your so-called Negroes, from the west coast of Africa all the way to the Americas during the triangular transatlantic slave trade, because you have to remember that it wasn't just a transatlantic slave trade, but it was a triangular slave trade, because the same way you had Jake, right, coming from or being taken from the west coast of Africa into the United States, right, into the Americas at the time. And let's also make another thing clear: it wasn't Africans, it wasn't Igbos, or any other tribe or term, or Bantus, or any other tribe or term you want to use. It was Israelites that was being taken from the west coast of Africa, Israelite refugees that was living in that land, being taken from the west coast of Africa and in the ships being carried all the way to the Americas. And the same way you had Jake from the west coast of Africa being carried to the Americas, you also had Gad and Reuben and the northern kingdom being carried from the Americas to Europe. That's Great Britain, Portugal, Spain, France. All these different European nations that were involved in the triangular slave trade. So, as it is written, all of our people were in that captivity. And let me start with that precept, because it's the other Malcolm that usually brings out this kind of information, right? But you know, when you do your own studying, you also see that everything that he has been saying, right, everything that the men of the Lord, that the Hebrew Israelites say, is the truth, and the whole world is just catching up to it. As it's written, Judah and Israel were oppressed together. So this is the book of Jeremiah 50, verse 33, right? Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast and refused to let them go. And that's why we are still yet in this day in our captivity, and also why is this slave ship called the good ship Jesus, right? Or Jesus of Lubbock is so relevant, because it shows you, right, exactly what plantation Christianity is. It is a religion that is used to keep our people in slavery, and it's just the spirit right there that the first slave ship, or one of the first slave ships, let me just say it like that, that carried our people from the west coast of Africa was named the good ship Jesus, because that same JC that same name, from that same religion is still a stumbling block to our people to this day, and is still keeping our people in captivity till this day, right? Because all you wacky-tacky Christians out there, that your line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like that Israelites according to their nationality by the line of your fathers that are into plantation Christianity. It just shows that their minds are still enslaved and they are still following the ways of Esau Edom, the doctrine and the wickedness of Esau Edom, because it should already have been established at this point how wicked plantation Christianity is. Because what does the scripture say? Him that stealeth a man, right? Let me get that precept. Let me get that precept. And it's not just, and really it's not just JC of Lubbock, the good sheep JC. I think that's probably what I just titled the video, the good sheep JC or the good sheep Cesare. But it's not just the good sheep that the slave sheep that was named after JC. It's also the slave Bible. It's also the fact that Esau Edom has been using the scriptures, right, deceitfully in order to push his wicked agenda on the earth. Case in point, once again, the slave Bible. And that's how he kept our people docile for the most part throughout our captivity, by using that slave Bible and making sure that Jake, you know, didn't read during during the captivity, because once again showing you that Esau Edom knew exactly who he was looking for. He knew that we were the Israelites according to the scriptures. He knew exactly who he was putting in captivity. Okay. Exodus 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And this is what the scriptures say concerning, what Esau Edom did in the transatlantic slave trade, which is basically stealing and selling a man. But later, these same Edomites will claim to be Christians, right? In the right vocab, you know, vocab out here coming against the Hebrew Israelites. And it's funny how, you know, whenever we that are in this truth, do anything, right? And it's not as though we are doing anything that is wrong or wicked, but just any action that we in this truth take, right? That the Hebrew Israelites take. Mukabe is documenting it, calling himself debunking the doctrine. But you see, whenever these Christians go way off, where is the videos Mukabe is doing condemning, the wickedness of the early Christians, right? Of the Edomites that went into Christianity during the transatlantic slave trade. Notice that you never see any Edomite so-called Christian outwardly, condemn their forefathers for their wickedness, right? Because at the end of the day, they are their forefathers and they are proud of those actions. But that's beside the point. And I want to play a little bit of this video just so you to get the point. Jake is waking up because now you have even Jake here in Nigeria. Of course, he's Nigerian British, so you know that he's been listening to the Hebrew Israelites as well. But even Jake here in Nigeria are starting to see, are starting to look into these things, do the research and find out the history of why our people are in the position that we are in, and show that we truly are under the curses, right? Because I actually put up a community post of this video, and I put the Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. Let me just play this video a little bit. Let me increase the quality real quick. Hello and welcome to Channels Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumu, and it's great to be on this show today. As always, a show where we discuss all things books. You will have noticed that we've been following the story of Angel Osarem. And Angel is a young lady who is trying to break the Guinness Book of World Record for marathon reading. Our objective at the beginning was to do at least 200 hours of reading, and she's gone over 130 hours now and still going strong. We're keeping an eye on that because this is not about Angel's ambition. We've observed she wants to use this as a platform, as a leverage for promoting reading culture, particularly amongst young people in Edo State and Nigeria as a whole. What a vision! Fantastic, considering
everything Edo State has gone through.
So okay, let me just split
It,
up.
come on, lady, keep going. It was a slave trader in, around this young lady because I believe they see it as something very symbolic, something that could trigger something in title. Many years ago, a man called John Hawkins was a slave trader, an English slave trader. He came here, took people away, turned them into slaves in the Americas. Remember, we had over 400 years of the transatlantic slave trade. A lot of people don't know that over 4 million people were taken from this place that we now call Nigeria. That's apart from other places in Africa. I mean, this place that we now call Nigeria, over 400 4 million of our people were taken.
And even the name Nigeria was given to you by these devils, man. You know that bitch, Lord Lugara and his wife. And I've been meditating on that as well. You know, all these bywords and proverbs that are being used to refer to our people. They'll call you Nigeria, they'll call you Igbo, they'll call you, you know, black, African American, colored, right? Latino, Native American, Seminole Indian, and all these things goes back to, like the scriptures say, that is in the book of Deuteronomy, and I'm about to go into it right now. The causes that it shall be a byword and a proverb. That's exactly what it is. Let's get that. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. Right? And wherever our people go, especially you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? The scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, they are seen as less than because we are at the bottom in this kingdom, not for long, but and that is because of the courses and even this slave ship, right? And let me just go to that. I think I have the article right here. Here it is. Jesus of Lubeck, which is the name of that slave ship that was used, you know, the good ship JC. The first slave ship to arrive in Africa in 1562. And this was of course written in July 3rd, 2020. And the book that they are discussing here, right, in this YouTube video, was actually written in 2018. You know, going into and it chronicles, you know, the history concerning this slave ship right here. And this is just and funny enough, it was actually commissioned by, I think that was what, Queen Elizabeth the First. If you go into the history, let's just read. You know, it even mentions it here. So let's just read a little bit of it and just get some history. And this is show you, man, Jake is waking up because I never expected that I would get this kind of information from a Nigerian, because that YouTube channel that is actually uploaded that video was a Nigerian news station. So I never expected to get that kind of information from there. That really shows you that now people are starting to wake up and see, you know, and you know, look into our real history. Okay. So continuing on, Jesus of Lubeck, the first British slave ship to arrive in Africa. The ship was chartered by Queen Elizabeth I to a group of merchants in 1563. Jesus of Lubeck was an early 16th century carrack built in the free city of Lubeck. Around 1540, Henry VIII, King of England, bought the ship, which had previously been used for ceremonial purposes, to expand his fleet. During the 1545 French invasion of the Isle of Wight, the ship saw action in an unsuccessful attempt to raise the flagship of Henry VIII. Mary Rose, she and Samson were used after she created during the Battle of Solent. She was later chartered by Queen Elizabeth I to a group of merchants in 1563. Jesus of Lubeck became involved in the Atlantic slave trade under John Hawkins, who organized 4 trips between 1562 and 1568 to West Africa and the West Indies. 300 to 500 Africans in the Dominican Republic were dropped as slaves by the Jesus. And this is just a brief history of, you know, that ship right there. And this same, sheep, right? Like I said, it even represents the fact that our people are still in mental slavery today by that same name, JC, Sweet Jesus, right? Especially here in Nigeria, because Nigeria is full of these plantation Christians, and Jake doesn't want to hear anything concerning this truth, man. They are perfectly comfortable with, the plantation Christian to be still in the congregation of the dead, as it is written, him that wandereth after the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, right? So that's the state that our people are in right now. It's funny how on one hand you have one, Jake waking up and going into the history, even publishing a whole book going into the history of the slave trade and the captivity of our people, right? So let me also get this as well. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. All right, and that is showing you, and the ships of course represents just this, just that, the good ship Jesus, the amazing grace, because I believe there was another ship named the Amazing Grace, and all the other slave ships that was used to transport our people from the west coast of Africa into the Americas to serve the slavery, right, the captivity. Okay, now Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, once again, and Jehovah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right. So this term buy does not mean purchase, but rather what it means is redeem. Okay. Because if you have a coupon, right, a coupon for, a coupon or a gift card for an item in a supermarket or a store, you don't buy the item without coupon or without gift card, you redeem it. Okay. So that shows you right there that this buy is not the normal, connotation for the word, which is basically make a purchase, but rather, and let's get that right here in the Hebrew. So the word that is there is buy, which is kwana. Let me go to that. Buy kwana. All right. And this word kwana in the Hebrew, I believe it's what I've forgotten what the word means in the Hebrew, but basically means redeemed, right? Redeemed. Okay. So this is the outline of biblical usage: to get, acquire, create, buy, possess; to get, acquire, obtain; of God, originating, creating, redeeming his people. And let's make it clear that when the scriptures say his people, or the people of the Most High, or the people of God, it is of course referring to you Israelites once again, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, because we are the people of the Most High, Yahweh Shami Ashai, right? And the Redeemer, is our Lord Yahweh. I had to also mention that as well. Okay. But yeah, you get the point right there. Now that this information has been brought out, and now that you have more people and more Jakes, waking up to the fact and bringing out this information concerning the history of our people. You know, it's just showing you the times that we're in, where where truth is being revealed, right? It is no longer hidden anymore. Okay, because Israel can no longer deny their wickedness and their crimes. That is in the book of Second Ezra, the sixth chapter, I believe. Yeah, and that's the time that we're in right now. Beautiful times where the truth is being dug up, the truth is being revealed, and it's being broadcasted throughout the whole earth. Starting with, of course, the men of the Lord from the elder apostles on down. Second Ezra 6 verse 21. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahawashai, Ba'asham Raka Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Yakim, and your acquires are edified. Shalom.